Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Broads. Full disclosure, I'm ready to go to Miami as soon as this show is over. So, you know what? My adrenaline is kicking, and I'm thinking about being away for a couple of days, and that's where my mind is at. Now, today was absolutely wild. It was a bonker 6 o'clock when the NBA free agency opens. I can't even focus on one tweet because within 7 seconds, there's another tweet that happens, and 6 seconds after that, there's another tweet that happens. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Brunson and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and hold on a second. And then, oh, by the way, add in the fact that the Phillies exploded to salvage the series, and Nick Castellanos finally hit a home run in June. Hello, Darick Hall. How are you? 2 bombs of his own. So a lot of emotions are happening, and I'm trying to keep them in check, but that's why we put this microphone on and we have some fun. We will begin with the Sixers. And let's start with this whole Kevin Durant thing. There's a report that says Joel Embiid was speaking to the Sixers saying, go make that push. You make that push. Now, whether you believe that said individual, that everybody's going, who the hell is this guy or not? Reality is, it really isn't breaking news that when a name like Kevin Durant is available, the best player in every organization's eyebrows raise because it would be phenomenal to add that individual to their team, right? So whether you believe who's saying what out there, and trust me, this is the time where things get wonky and you can't trust every single tweet that gets thrown out there. If in a hypothetical world, the Sixers were to make that push, and with Daryl Morey, he is an aggressor, and he loves to try and make the sexiest moves in the world, so there is no reason to believe that they are not interested in trying to get KD here. Your package would be Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, basically a would you trade Tyrese Maxey, would you not stupid debate that I'm seeing online. It's not even close to a conversation. The kid should be out of town. I'll drive Tyrese Maxey wherever he gets traded to if we're talking about Kevin Durant, okay? If you're talking about multiple teams and this and that and we get a little crazy, wherever Tyrese Maxey needs to go, I will drive him by myself and drop him off with a blink of an eye. I'm not even thinking twice about it, and it's stupid if you feel any other way. Will he be here? Probably not, all right? I'm not putting my heart out on the table and thinking that this is a real thing. You want to talk about the Phoenix Suns or you want to talk about where KD wants to go, all right, have at it. I mean, this is the time of the year where you get your hopes up and you have some barroom conversation and you have some fun. You drink a couple cold ones and you talk about the what-ifs of the world. If you can land in, what about this starting five and that starting five? Reality is, for me, unless we get things that are a little bit hotter and steamier and there seems to be a little more juice to it, I'm in wait-and-see mode. But if that's the package, that's the starting point, you should have no issue with it. And you'd be a fool to think that Tyrese Maxey would be somebody to hold you back with the caliber of player we are talking about with Kevin Durant. Yeah, it's just foolish. But anyway, on a more serious note, because that's all up in the air and more what if than anything else. PJ Tucker here, 3 years. I love it. I think that that's exactly what I expected once we saw the Keith Pompey report. And, I mean, I don't love it fully. I do realize his age and I realize the compensation. But when looking at this window of opportunity with Joel Embiid, now is the time to go all in, and it's a calculated risk I'm willing to do. You think of the biannual money that they utilized on Daniel House Jr., another calculated risk that I'm intrigued by. Now, the mocking of Daryl Morey for going all Houston players, it is what it is, but I got no issue with it because these moves make sense. It's very logical, in my opinion. It helps out the team in the areas that they desperately needed some help. Think about switching on defense with Daniel House. something I can rely on. His three-point shooting is fair. I'll label it as fair. He did have some issues in the bubble, getting kicked out of the bubble. So there is a talking point about who the person is outside of the sport of basketball from a maturity level. But, I believe in Daryl Morey's decision-making, and It seems like there has been some dialogue about that being more of the old news, and there's no doubt about it that there are people who make bad decisions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad people and they always make bad decisions, and you can learn a lot from that type of mistake, and this is pretty much me saying I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's keep a close eye on some things from a distance, of course, as we study what this new team is going to be all about. But I like what Daryl Morey did. How about Queen G League domination all the way through? You talk about what he did in the playoffs. Now, I don't know if that's going to relate full circle to something that I'm totally going to fall in love with at the NBA level, but in regards to, and I'll use the word again, a calculated risk, I'm satisfied with Daryl Morey, and I think that what we were complaining about last year, they have done a phenomenal job to fill a lot of those holes, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm hearing a lot of people who I respect in this business say that they are talking to people within the Sixers organization, and it seems like Tobias Harris is going to stay. Once again, I have no problems with it. If they do stick with the core four of last season and then add the depth that we are talking about right now, I can live with that. I think they're close. I think they're close to getting over the hump of the second round. And one of the reasons that they were held back was because of their lack of players that are actually reasonable and you can rely on from a role-playing perspective. Well, look at their additions and look at the difference of their dogness, their pit bullness, their versatility with a lot of their players. And it's not one-sided guys. Matisse Thybulle can only play one side of the basketball. Furkan Korkmaz can't play any side of the basketball, but his skill set claims he could only play one side of the basketball in three-point shooting. He can't three-point shoot either. He stinks in every area of the game, but just, he's a three-point shooter, air quotes, can't defend a lick. So you had Matisse Thybulle doing one thing and not the other, Furkan doing one thing and not the other with air quotes, and these players were playing playoff basketball. Can't happen, and now you have P.J. Tucker, you have Daniel House Jr., and we'll see what is next from Daryl Morey. And we'll get an update, hopefully, on James Harden and the actual numbers over the weekend. We'll see. We'll see how this puppy goes. Also, the Phils. That was fun. It started off a bit scary, though, if we're going to be honest with each other, right? Didi Gregorius doesn't remember how many outs there were and could have easily turned a double play, but instead just pocketed the baseball and started jogging and then realized, oh shit, hold on a second, I totally just screwed up. What are you doing here, Didi? Come on, man. But the next time he got an opportunity, he went up to the plate after Rob Thompson went to him in the dugout. He hits a big-time double, which sparked a major inning, and then the Phillies just took off completely. Hallelujah that Nick Castellanos woke up. This is why I tell you, Nick Castellanos driving the baseball and scoring, that's way more important than any sort of bullpen discussion. When your offense goes, and now it's a big-time separation in that inning, you don't have to worry about the bullpen if your offense is scoring runs. I don't expect to see this team rake with Schwarber, Darick Hall, 2 homers, Rhys Hoskins going back-to-back with all of these homers every single game because that's an unbelievable pace. They do have the opportunity to do it. It will happen once in a while like we saw today. Ian Anderson. Oh, by the way, Matt Vierling, welcome to the party. I don't want to see Mickey Moniak ever again. Think about the difference in production already from not just Matt Vierling stepping up against a righty too, may I add. And if Mickey Moniak is going to have any sort of idea here, it would be against a right-handed pitcher since you have that lefty-righty matchup. matchup, but he can't do it. And oh, by the way, Matt Vierling against lefties hits 280 plus. So please, what are we doing here? If he can hit righties better, and we know what he does against lefties, which makes sense because he's a right-handed batter, then Mickey Moniak should not be playing baseball anymore. Ding, 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 ding. But going back to the Didi thing, for anyone who thought that Rob Thompson should have sat him or benched him or got him out of here, no. If we know anything about Rob Thompson, which we are still learning of the character and what he believes in, but I think I have a good sense on how he handles business. He was never going to be benching Didi Gregorius, regardless on bodies and how thin they are with certain. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Didi Gregorius is a veteran who's played a lot of baseball. He wasn't ripping him into shreds and getting all into his face. It was, yo, let's go. A little pat on the back. And then what did you do? You saw him hit a big-time double. And by the way, the focus level and the fire in Didi's face when they showed the zoom up of him when he was on deck, taking a couple hacks and a couple swings, practice swings, you could tell he was furious with himself and extremely pissed off. So I love the response from the team, and his teammates had his back, and that's something I've been noticing over the last few, not the last two against the Braves, but dating back to the Padres and all. It's like your bullpen at times, and just in general, when something doesn't work out, it seems that there's a collective unit of players that can at least help in that area, whether they win the game or not or whatever happens. You can look at it and be like, well, they did have their back and they did do certain things that intrigue you. So your teammates showed up big time, and man, it can't get much bigger than Nick Castellanos hitting that baseball. You saw the standing ovation from the crowd out in right field and the acknowledgement. You saw his teammates' reaction, too, in the dugout when it was all said and done. After he touched home plate, too, the guys that were waiting for him there, just a big sigh of relief, finally. Could you imagine if he went all month? He waited for the last day. Let's be honest here. We got super close to it, but finally, Nick did it. And this team will ride with Nick Castellanos right now without Bryce Harper. Maybe Darick Hall, too. You know, I did say when he went 0 for his first game with Darick Hall, it seemed a little bit desperate. They tried something. To be fair, they tried something, and he is a power hitter, so to slot him in a different area, you know, it does make sense to slot him clean up, but it does smell and reek like a big sign of desperation because, let's be honest, you wouldn't do that if you had real options there right now, but it ended up working out. His swing is real. That's a real major league swing. Put it back in perspective of Mickey Moniak. Do you see Darick Hall swing? Sweet. That replay of the first homer, now the second one was crushed too. Both of them were obliterated. But honestly, that swing relates to a ton of success in the big leagues. So I'm intrigued by him. And his name's been surfacing up now. It's not like this came out of nowhere. You heard about the home runs. If you've been peeking your eye with what he was doing and you saw his stats, it's like, hold on, there's another homer. 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 Hold on a second. So you eventually thought he would be caught up. But, man, if you could add that, and now I don't expect 2 home runs a game out of Darick Hall. There's going to be an adjustment period. There's going to be a figure-it-out period. But I do know that swing looks sexy and that swing looks good. And I think that swing will benefit this baseball team, and he'll be able to rock a lot of deep, deep homers. If Nick can wake up and that home run gets him going, and he's the one that stated it, it takes one hit, it takes one swing. Well, let's pray it's that swing, because I thought it was the 2 that happened in Washington, D.C. If not, when now? And the slump went on for damn too long. So let's pray to the baseball gods. This series against St. Louis is monstrous. It stung that they lost this series, and we do have to acknowledge they lost this series at home against the Braves. I mean, it's not great. I'm proud they salvaged this thing. Aaron Nola got his run support. Got a ton of strikeouts, too. Were the Braves a little upset with a couple of them late? Maybe. Low? Maybe. Inside? Maybe. But he was nasty, and that wasn't the difference in the Braves winning or losing this baseball game. A couple late moments with some close pitches that were either just a tick or a hair low or maybe a split hair inside. You take it, you move on. But win this damn series against St. Louis, please. The reason why I feel as positive as I do, even though they lost 2 of 3 to a team in their own division, is because of Castellanos. If they won this game differently, I think that I would have a different feeling on it. But because of the context that I could take out, the one guy that has to wake up to let this thing really activate is the one that you can hear at the crack of the bat was, yeah, that's over. Oh, come on, baby. Huge smile on my face. I'm not going to have game-by-game breakdowns. Before we get to the phones at 856-442-9805, I will not have game-by-game breakdowns because I am going to Miami, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show. It is the bachelor party weekend, so it's going to be a ton of fun, but I'll be back when the weekend's over to discuss as I watch from afar. Before we get to the phones, look, injuries happen, and when they do, you need someone who is going to fight for the justice you deserve. And that's my friend Zach Green at Javerbaum Law Firm. Zach Green is an experienced personal injury attorney who will personally handle your case if you or a loved one have been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or if you have been the victim of a medical malpractice. Consultations are always free, and he can be reached at 609-790-3895. Zach grew up in the Philadelphia area and has a deep understanding of the personality of its sports fans. He's a 4-for-4 guy who will stand up for your rights and fight for you. When you are hurt and you need a lawyer that is not afraid to go toe-to-toe with the insurance companies to get you the compensation you deserve, make sure you're calling Zach Green. If you have been hurt, call Zach at 609-790-3895 or email him at zgreen@lawjw.com. His information is down below in the description. I'm seeing here that Eric says, give Mickey Moniak 3 weeks, he'll be fine. No, he won't. Because he stinks. And it's a shame because Mickey Moniak's not the type of player that right now can go down to AAA and get his at-bats to get better. He's doing fine in AAA. He's raking in AAA. There's a reason why we have this thing called the Quad A player. He's the one that doesn't stick in the majors, but too good for AAA. Welcome, Mickey Moniak. That is just honesty. I'm not giving Mickey Moniak 3 weeks. I don't have 3 weeks to mess around with Mickey Moniak figuring it out. I don't have time for figuring it out. I need to win baseball games. You're without Bryce Harper, and you have to keep it afloat until he comes back from his thumb injury, and not just keep it afloat, but you got to win. It's not just about staying status quo. You got to win. You have to win. It's not time to see what he can do and watch him fail and watch him struggle. It's like Bryson Stott. I need Bryson Stott to perform. I need to see 2 hits next to his name. I need to see him drive the baseball. I need to see him succeed with the fielding, too. Like, it's not time to, like, hey, you get a free week. You get a 2-week free pass. It's go mode. It's go mode. All right. And here's another chat. I know people are holding on the phone. I'll get to them in a second here. But trade Maxey and Harden. You're not trading Harden to get Kevin Durant. That's not what's happening here. It's going to be Tyrese, Tobias. It'll be Maxey. Harden's not going anywhere for Kevin Durant. That's not what it's going to happen. All right. Let's take our first call. Welcome on into the show. Thank you so much for taking your time to call in. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Going well, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. It's Rob here. Yo, Katie, he's coming to Philly. The Sixers have the best player package offer for the man. Question is, do we have the picks for him?
Well, it also comes down to, and I hate to say this, but it is how this goes, too, is, not that he would be disappointed to be here with, I think, this powerhouse. I'm just saying, if Kevin Durant is, I want to go out west, I want to go to Phoenix, I want to go to certain areas, this drama and this diva league, they do have a lot of say on how it all shapes out. But the difference is, I don't know if Kevin Durant would look at, you normally say this when the alternative is a disaster or a mediocre spot. Philadelphia is not that right now.
I know it's a championship destination. Plus, also...
You're breaking up on me a little bit, and it was a little tough to hear you even in the beginning, so I apologize, but I got to let you go. 856-442-9805. They have a decent package. I mean, it doesn't wow me, but It's a decent package. Matisse Thybulle a bum. He's a scrub. He's not a very good basketball player, so it's not like that dude moves the needle whatsoever. Tyrese Maxey's legit. Yeah, no doubt about it. And Tobias Harris is a good player for sure. But, yeah, I mean, it's not like it's like, oh. Now, if you look at the options and what else is possible in some trades with maybe Phoenix or, I mean, based off the circumstances, there's definitely something to it. But I guess for me, it's not that it's a dream or it's unacceptable to think about it. I'm just playing it cool. They have a decent little how do you do that could be sent their way. Playing it cool. That's all. That's my approach. Now, Vince says, I don't want Durant. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why would you not want Kevin Durant? There should be nobody in the world that watches basketball that thinks to themselves, I prefer not Kevin Durant, and I think we're a better basketball team without Kevin Durant. Okay, I see a lot of trolling happening because Raymond's saying that Daryl Morey sucks. Well, that's just an uneducated opinion. That's all. You can say that. It's uneducated, but you can say that. We'll go to Amadeo. How you doing, Amadeo?
What a crazy day. Just from the start of NBA free agency to every Sixers signing that they did today, and then hear the Kevin Durant news. I mean, who would be stupid enough to say to not want Kevin Durant? I would love a Kevin Durant, and I would do anything to get him.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think Daryl Morey is going to do that. He is star hunting all the time. He sees a name like Bradley Beal, his eyebrows raised. He sees a name like James Harden, his eyebrows raised. He sees any name out there that is unbelievable talent, his eyebrows raised. When Kevin Durant, and that's why I think I'm playing it cool, because I trust in Daryl Morey. I understand how he works. I know the way he operates, and he's going to do everything in his power to try and acquire him. So if it doesn't happen, it's not for a lack of trying or for being a stupid front office or anything along those lines. That's why I feel, I would say maybe the word is comfortable in just watching right now and how it all plays out, because this guy is going to swing. You talk about swinging or missing or going down looking. This guy's going to swing and miss if you're going to fail.
Yeah, and also I guess you can say also don't knock maybe Joel Embiid trying to, do everything possible to recruit Kevin Durant to try to, make his decision to come to Philadelphia, to request to trade to Philadelphia. You can't also deny that factor. Joel Embiid could have a lot of influence on that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant, when you talk about the LeBrons, the Kevin Durants, the Steph Currys, there's a whole new tier in play. And that's not to say they can't have conversation, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, hey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, whatever, however they go about their business, because we all know that tampering is happening around the league in general. But there is a certain core group of players that they're a different type of beast to deal with. This isn't Bradley Beal. This isn't a James Harden this deep into the stage of his career. It's Kevin Durant. So I do think that there's a whole different element to that side of things. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, basically at this point, you just got to play it by ear. I personally don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. But going to the Phillies, Nick Castellanos, that was huge. And Aaron Nola, do you think when he saw all those runs, he's like, holy shit, I actually got runs?
Probably, considering the last few have been brutal, especially after the Didi thing, too, right? He's thinking, you got to be kidding me. That's how you're going to screw me right now? And he made up for it with the double, though.
Yeah, just seeing basically every single... Hopefully Schwarber can keep this up in July. I would love to see a Kyle Schwarber go up against Pete Alonso in the home run derby with just basically how amazing he has been this month, and hopefully he could just find a way to keep doing that throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it won't. This amount of home runs in a month, it's going to slow down. That's my biggest question mark. For some reason, I don't have the data or the science behind it. But when the calendar month is going to turn, it's no longer June. Thank you. I know I'm giving you a lot of fantastic information right now. But when the calendar month turns, it's no longer June. And is Kyle Schwarber's bat going to be as powerful? The trend says no. And realistically, hitting this many in 1 month, it won't happen again in July. This is massive. It's obnoxious. What will this team look like when it cools down a bit to reality, which is fair to expect? That's why we need Castellanos. That's why it would be huge if Darick Hall is actually more of a legitimate weapon here that can be utilized. And if JT can get going, boom, gets his single RBI, baby. You knew that was coming. Goes to right field, gets that little how do you do? You knew it was coming, gets the single. Here's another run. But that's why Castellanos' life here is so important. The life of Castellanos, to give this team the energy is desperately needed, because when the inevitable occurs, who's going to be there? Who's going to knock in the runs? Who's going to show the power? All right. With that, that's where we're at. It's a good day today. Crazy day. Wild day. I will be back when the weekend is over. So enjoy your weekend. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button as well. Utilize the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page when you're buying tickets. And then also check out Broads Media on all social media platforms. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in a few days.